Welcome back to the Gratitude Incarnate podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Rose, and this is the Daily Divine Download. So on a previous episode a few weeks ago, I talked about what I call ungratefulness syndrome. And basically what that is, you probably know people when you run into them, they're constantly complaining. They're in a negative mindset. Nothing ever really seems to be working out for them. They're tired, things like that. They've always got something going on, and they're really just focused on the negative aspect of things and complaining. And that's what I call ungratefulness syndrome. And the reason why I call it that is because when we are focused on gratitude and embodying that attitude of being grateful, those negative thoughts and complaints, they just don't come up, okay? And that's not to say that we'll never have a complaint. There are complaints that are just geared towards being negative and getting attention, and there are complaints that are informative and they help people, fix whatever's going on. So they do have their place. But what I'm talking about is these people who are constantly in this negative state of mind and complaining just to air out their grievances, basically. And I call it ungratefulness syndrome, like I said, because I know it comes from a place of being ungrateful. I feel like we always have something to be grateful for. If you woke up this morning, you have been given a great gift, a gift of life. And I know from personal experience, when we go through times of depression, times when we're feeling down, I know just how hard it is to shift your mind into a mindset of being grateful for what you have. That's what led me on this path to creating this podcast. That's what put me on this new spiritual journey that I've been on for the last 4 years, because I was at a time in my life where I was depressed and I wasn't focused on all the things I had to be grateful for. And when I went and seen a therapist, she helped introduce a gratitude practice into my life called the GLAD method, where you write one thing you're grateful for, one thing you've learned, one thing you've achieved, and one thing you've delighted in. And that really helped steer my mind towards thinking about those things every day, because I knew I was going to have to do that journal exercise. So it really just shifted me away from that negativity and thinking about what I didn't have and lack and just complaining and negativity. It took all of that away from me, because those things cannot coexist with gratitude in your mind at the same time, okay? You can't be grateful and complaining at the same time. That's just not how it works. So I was thinking today is like, how can we fight this ungratefulness syndrome? What can we do to keep this from happening? And see, we don't want to use words like fight or combat, because it attracts those things into our life. So what we really want to do is figure out how can we go from that feeling of ungratefulness into an attitude of gratitude. And like I said, that's what I was thinking about today. The way that we can do this is by not resisting and by going with the flow. And this morning I have the day off of work from one of my jobs, and I found myself with a lot of energy. And I remembered that there was a time where when I had the day off, I would want to work. When I had to work, I would want the day off. And I never really seemed to be just happy in the present moment. But through using gratitude and going with the flow when things come up, I've learned to really embrace the present moment. So today I'm really looking forward to having this day off. And I'm going to use this time to the best of my ability. So since I'm feeling this energy, I can direct it towards some other projects that I've been wanting to work on, and I can do it, while still resting at home. So that's really a blessing. And that's what happens when we learn to go with the flow and to have this attitude of gratitude. Everything that happens in your life will become a blessing in every single moment. The thing is, you just have to start to choose to see it that way. Okay, so when we go with the flow, so if you have a job, let's say you're a handyman, okay? And you're scheduled to go out to a job, and you get to the job and the job decides that they want to cancel. Now, there are some things that you could do. You could choose to react, and you could get upset, and you could, think, oh my gosh, I just drove all the way out here for nothing. This is such a waste of time. I'm not going to be making any money. All the things that could come up. Or you could shift into an attitude of gratitude and say, wow, I have 4 extra hours in my schedule now. What are some things that I've been wanting to do that I haven't had time for because I have time for them now? Really what it is and what it comes down to is just shifting your thinking from why is this happening to me and shifting into why is this happening for me? So when that person cancels the work, or your friend doesn't show up to the lunch date, or your blind date doesn't show up for dinner, or whatever it is, just learn to go with the flow and really embrace what's happening because it's happening for you, okay? So find gratitude for those things. If your blind date did stand you up, take that time and treat yourself to a nice dinner. Show yourself how you want to be treated. You don't have to leave just because they didn't show up. Maybe they weren't meant to be there. And maybe this is a great opportunity for you to take the time to be with you and enjoy yourself because you're an awesome person, and that's why you showed up for you. So just keep that in mind. When things come up, it's so quick for us to just go into that state of being where we're just ungrateful and we're complaining. But this podcast is here to show you that you can embody an attitude of gratitude no matter what is going on. So just go with the flow today, and anything that comes up, just ask yourself, why is this happening for me? Okay? And be grateful that it's happening for you. And, just go with it. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. This is how we overcome the ungratefulness syndrome. And this is how we embody an attitude of gratitude every single day. So thank you so much for listening. Guys, don't forget to head over to Facebook to Gratitude Incarnate group and go ahead and join that group. You're not going to be asked any questions or to follow any specific rules. It is completely free. It's open to the public. We want you to come on there. We want you to share how you've learned to embody gratitude, and your experiences through this whole process and this journey. We want to share it with you, and we want to encourage you and support you along the way. So make sure you join that group. I'm really excited. We're celebrating over 100 members. We hit that number last week. Super excited. There's a challenge on there. If you invite 5 friends to the Facebook group, post a picture or, a post about what you're grateful for. Tag those 5 people in the comments. And then once they've joined, just tag me. And one winner is going to get a $20 gift card to either Amazon or Starbucks. It's the winner's choice. It's just a great way to help grow the group and encourage your friends to embody this attitude of gratitude. And, if you win, you get a fun prize too. So go over there and check that out. I'll put a link in the show notes. Again, I cannot say this enough. I am so thankful, so grateful, and so happy that you're tuning into this podcast today. You're not just working on yourself. You're working on the world. You're making the world a better place by showing up for yourself today and doing this work. So thank you for that, and have a grateful day.